Right. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. Tired of running. I've been running way too long. I've been running from the world so long. Now it's time for me to stop and finally make my mind up to tired of slaying on the block. I've been there for an evil way. Give me love, show me your way. Teach me, Lord, as I go. Hold me tight and don't let go. Cause I've been running way too long. I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. So tired of running. I've been running way too long. I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. So tired of running. I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. Love just wanna get this right. You were sleeping in the cycle. I've been running way too long. Tired of running. I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. And that's all I see myself doing this ministry thing. Getting my hands with King, praising His holy name. Telling everybody how much my life has changed. How He gave me another chance, and now I'm not the same. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. Running here, running there, still been fighting, running here, running down, I know I did. Look to the side, or everything, it'll be on my enemy. I was running, now I see, in the Lord, set me free with Jesus, I got free. I've been running way too long. I'm tired of running, I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running, I've been running way too long. I'm tired of running, I've been running way too long. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all come on in, chilling with Mr. B. Yeah, on this nice Wednesday night. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. Yes, sir. Come on now. Y'all also watch me live now on YouTube with Chilling with Mr. B. Just as well as you catch me on TikTok live. I'm also broadcasting on Chilling with Mr. B tonight. You can catch me right now if you don't have TikTok. If you do, tell somebody. If you're just now joining, do me a favor. Hit that follow button, hit that like button, and hit the share button. And for those of you who are on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right. All right, all right. We are glad to be here tonight, and I'm coming to you tonight, and there's a subject I want to talk about for a few minutes, if y'all will allow me to. I'm sure that everybody would be interested in this subject because it's something that transpires around us each and every day, and I know a lot of us, see it and we say, well, hey, that's just the way of the world and the way things happen. But if you look at the statistics, you'll see that the rate and the numbers are going
even higher uh, with this situation. So I want to talk to you a little bit about it first. What I'm going to do before I start talking, I'm going to run a little clip of why America's murder rate has spiked. I don't know about you, maybe you've heard, but not only here in Houston, Texas, but also uh, around the nation, in other states also, violence and crime has taken a toll, and it has risen to some higher numbers than it was some years ago. One of the main things that I want to touch on tonight is that the uh, subject of domestic violence and family violence. Hello, how you doing from Mississippi? Glad to join you. Thank you for joining. Uh, do me a favor, please share uh, and hit the follow button if you haven't became one of the followers. I would glad to have you as a follower, and I will follow you back. But as I was saying, the subject that I really want to touch on is the domestic violence uh, between relationships, and it seems to be rising more and more each day when we look up. Uh, all crime is really uh, bad, but the reason why I'm focusing on the domestic violence is because we have seen a rise in the domestic violence just with here in this year of 2023. Uh, and for as I know and what I have seen, which I know that there's probably even more, uh, I've counted a total of at least five or six just within the beginning of this year. I know that there are many others that may have not been placed on the statistic list, but it does not change the fact that the domestic violence rate is steady climbing. And I want to get into that. Not only that, we want to get into why is it is the crime rate so high in America now. I was listening to a man earlier today, and he began to explain in his point of view as to why the crime rate had risen so high, and he began to start off with the pandemic and how it shifted everything and shifted everybody into uh, almost a state of deep poverty, but uh, people are struggling to come back, to bounce back from having to go through such things that they went through. Uh, and I understand that there are some people out there who may not understand that there is a better way to try and bounce back from something such as that. But you also, me myself personally, I can't sit back and blame it and say pandemic started this because murder has been happening many years back since the beginning of time when the first murder occurred. There was no structure at that time, and God looked down and God saw that there was no structure and that the world was in need of structure. And so he looked down upon there to see, hey, Angela, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Hey, honey, how you doing? I see you on there. That's right. Support him. Thank you. Thank you, babe. Uh, I see, I look and I see that God saw that the world was in distress and that the world was in need of some structure. And so he had to lay down some rules, some instructions for by which people should live. And once again, we find ourselves in the community and the cities that we live uh, in a world of turmoil. And uh, we see that the economy, we hear things such as, stores are going to close down. We hear things about you better guard your money and withdraw your money from the banks because there's not going to be it's going to be all kind of chaos and confusion with the banks. And when you hear so much this type of stuff going around every day, see what you listen to is input, and this here goes into your mind. And as you go into your mind, you realize, well, I'm already fighting a struggle and I'm trying to survive as it is. Uh, I hope it don't happen to me. And you, there's an old saying that we say all the time that we should stay ready to keep from getting ready. And the difference in that saying is that you got some people that live the day for today and not worry about tomorrow. And I understand, the Bible tells us not to worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has enough problems of its own. But what are we doing about the problems that we're having today? What are we doing about the things that are going on today? How are we going to handle the situation of our youth, our young ones going out, can't even go out and have a good time out there, recreating with their friends or going to somewhere where they can entertain themselves. We have problems with that because we have to worry about when they leave home that they go out and somebody might pull up and just jump out and open fire on them. And such as occasion, we've had that happen in one place at the same time within a week apart. There are so many things going on. You have to, right now, you have to prepare yourself. You have to stay prepared. You have to stay ready because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. But one of the biggest problems that we have that we're facing right now is within the home, within the relationship, within the marriage, within the family. Those are some of the biggest things that I don't know about you, but I've been paying attention to these things because out of everything else in life, family is one of the most important things to me. And I really, try to pay attention to that. And I see what's going on. And what I see is truth. And when I say truth is that the devil wants to destroy the family. And if he can destroy the family, then he's done a day's work. So the Bible spoke about that there'll be father against son and father against son and daughter against mother and son against father, and all these things were going to transpire. But we read about these things, but how often do we really pay attention to what's going on? People wake up, because there's some things that are transpiring. For every purpose under the sun, it's a reason, it's a purpose for everything that transpires up under the sun. Ecclesiastes tells us that, and we hear it and we listen, but we don't pay attention. The signs of the time, if you look, you'll see all around you. Everywhere you go, you can't even go to a gas station and pump gas without being in fear of somebody pulling up beside you and trying to take your possessions or trying to rob you, or just out of nowhere, a gang initiation or something. They just pull up and they begin to open fire on you and take your life just like that. Nobody's expecting to wake up in the morning and go out and not be able, not think of coming back home. You do. When you get up in the morning, you wake up and you think about excuse me, you think about going to your job. You think about working a day's work. You think about everything that you go through on your job. Some people say, I'm getting tired of this job. But you know what? It's a blessing that you got it, because there are many who don't have it. And many of them who don't have it, they feel that they have no need to have to. They've gotten so much to where they don't even believe they have to work. The Bible says if a man don't work, he don't eat. let me tell you something. Robbing somebody, jacking somebody, and taking somebody goods is not work. That's not work. That's theft. The Bible says thou shalt not steal. And it also says that thou shalt not kill. To steal from somebody and to take a person's life for their possessions, that is not work. That is not what God said. That is not what he meant for us to do. He meant for us to labor, to go out and to produce something. But the only thing that's on their minds these days is, I got to get money. I'm getting money. But what are you doing to get the money? There are people out there who work hard every day. People who go out there and work their fingers to the bone, been on their job for 20, 25, 30 years. And they work hard to make a living for themselves and for their families and to come home and take their families. They're not expecting any of you to run up and to take your guns out and to take what they went out and worked hard for. People are not standing for that no more these days. People are taking a stand. People are beginning to fire back. People are beginning to handle things themselves because simple reason, people have gotten tired of it. And let me tell you something. The domestic violence, ladies, and I want you to hear me good. I want you to hear me good. There are some signs, and some of you, many of you, if you're not focused enough on what's going on, you're going to ignore those signs because you're going to trade those signs in. And the Bible say that they'll believe a lie before the truth, that they'll take the lie over the truth. And sometimes when you find yourself in a relationship and you hear the things that you want to hear, and he's telling you all the good things you want to hear, things that make you feel good, things that he buying you things that make you look good. And let me tell you something. Sometimes it can be a setup. That's why you have to be aware of what's going on in your life. Never take your eye off your opponent. This is what I was always taught. Never take your eye off the opponent. That's right, I said opponent. But you may say, well, that's my husband. That's my boyfriend. That's my man. That's my dude. Let me tell you something. That's your opponent. Same way with the ladies. That's your opponent. You have to keep your eye on each other. And if things are not in line or not lining up the way it's supposed to be, then you need to start paying attention to the signs. You need to start paying attention to the signs because there are signs. The Bible says that there are signs of destruction. Let me tell you something. We get so hung up and so captivated with the things that make us feel good and make us that sound good to us, and we have been looking a long time for. That's what I'm looking for right there. She's nice. She's so fine, and look at her. She got a nice body. All the same way with the ladies. Ladies, you see men. And they so fine, and they got the muscles, and they got everything. That's your dream man. Not realizing that very man can be the very one, can be the reason that you'll be asleep the next moment. You have to open your eyes and look beyond the picture, because when you look at the picture, all you seeing is the beauty of the picture. But you got to look beyond that picture, because beyond that picture, there's a lot of things went into that. There's a lot of things there. And I know that there were signs in many of these domestic violence cases that transpired, but you were so in love. You were so in love with this man till you couldn't see it. In your eyes, he couldn't do any wrong. In same fellas, in your eyes, she couldn't do any wrong. There are many things that come along with domestic violence. One of the biggest and one of the main deals about domestic violence that can cause disagreements in your household between you and your mate, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever you want to call them. One of the biggest things that can become a problem in your relationship is money. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Long as money sits still on the table and nobody bothers it, it ain't causing no problem. But just as soon as it get into the hands of the one with the idle mind and the idle thoughts, then all kind of chaos can break out. And guess what? The money is innocent. He wasn't the type of guy that I wanted to be with. So why did you marry him? If you knew this from the beginning, why did you marry him? If you knew he wasn't the guy you wanted to be with, why did you decide to move in with him? Now, I'm not putting them down, but I'm just showing you examples of what to look for. If it don't look right, if it don't seem right, if it don't feel right in the beginning, don't ignore. My wife always say, always follow your first mind. And sometimes you want to pass over the first mind. I wish you could listen to my wife talk to you ladies about this domestic situation and things. I wish you could listen to her. I wish you would she would go live and come and talk to y'all about it, because she can explain it a whole lot better than I can. But from my point of view, I want to let you know that I personally myself can speak upon it, because I myself used to be a person who would go out and see all other women and everything, knowing that I had a wife at home and knowing that I was wrong for doing it. And let me tell you something, all domestic, all abuse doesn't always come physical. It comes emotional and mental. And the type of abuse that I was doing was mental, because I was being selfish and thinking of myself only. And this is why I come to you ladies to talk to y'all about that tonight. You need to understand that if you see a person only thinking about themselves in a relationship that's supposed to be 50-50, that he's supposed to be there for you and be by your side and you by his side, and you see that the things ain't going that way, start paying attention to the signs. Because there's always something else that comes after one thing. Then it's something else, and it builds up and it brews until it reaches a point to where you're so deep in it and you're so deep in love till you don't want to let it go. And let me show you what to prey on. They prey on your weakness. And when I say weakness, the weakness I'm talking about is the weakness in mind. If they see that your mind is weak, if they see that you're vulnerable, if they see that whatever they say that you're going to do it and you're going to agree to it, if they see all these things, then they're going to use that to their advantage. And I know it's some guys that don't like what I'm saying, because I'm giving them up tonight. I'm telling them, I'm putting them out there. There are some things, man, that you need to straighten out. And it's not hard to do. I did it. I could have been still doing the same thing I was doing. I could have still been out there living the life I was doing. I could have been still going from woman to woman. Praise God. You know what? I am so glad that I never got myself in a situation where I caught anything sexual, any kind of disease or anything like that. I'm glad, and I praise God and I thank him every day, because you know why? It could have been me. So what you need to understand is, men, if God gave you a woman, if he gave you a blessing, he gave you somebody who willing to stand by your side, if she go that far to stand by your side, even in the midst of your wrong, you need to change your ways. You need to turn around and you need to go home. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I was. Because I know I wasn't right. But let me tell you something. When I began to change my ways and I began to do what was right and I began to do what was pleasing in God's sight, when I began to do all those things, then guess what? The blessings began to come down. Yes. The Bible says when a man finds him a good wife, he finds a good thing. And not only does he find a good thing, but he finds favor with God. When I stopped ripping and running and searching and trying to seek something just to fulfill my need for a moment, and I began to wake up and open my eyes and begin to cry and begin to tell God that, God, if you just give me another chance, I'm going to change this, and not lie to him, and stepped out on faith that God was going to put everything together for me. And guess what? And he did just that. Then I received favor from God. I knew I had favor from God because you know why? Because I began to do what was right. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to a lot of these guys. But I'm telling you women, I'm talking to you women, because there are some things that you have to understand. And I'm not telling you to go home and talk crazy to your man just because you heard me talking on here. But I'm telling you to be more aware. Analyze the situation. Analyze your relationship. Don't just, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you like the old folks say, love don't put bread on the table. Okay? Good words and telling you how beautiful you look and how sweet you are and how fine you are ain't gonna bring in the bacon. It ain't gonna take care of you. You have to start watching the signs. And I'm gonna run down a few of the signs to you that you need to look out for. When you start to see him keeping you distant from your family, and it starts out little by little, then next thing you know, you're isolated from your family. The next thing you need to pay attention to is when he start doing little things like on a demanding type of thing. Okay? Starts off small, gets bigger. Another thing you need to pay attention to, that little slap on the butt that you get when he happened to walk by. Pay attention. That little slap on the butt can become also the slap in your face. Pay attention. When he start leaving home and setting up little things to try to see if you're going to leave, or asking you where you going and doing all these things and telling you where you can't go, and every time you want to go, he going to go with you, all this here. Watch those things. Watch it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with spending time with each other, but the Bible even talks about you sharing time with one another. I mean, having that extra time apart. Because if you're always together all the time, and my wife say the same thing, because we pretty much, when we go do things, we pretty much together on everything. But I know that there's time where she need to have time to herself, and she know there's times I need to have time to myself. You ain't gonna miss each other if you're always around each other. And I know some of y'all have been hurt in the past by other men and by other women, and some of y'all don't want to let them out your sight because you walking around with your old relationship, your old hurt and pain from the old relationship. You're walking around with it in your new relationship. And you're so afraid that if you turn them loose for a moment, that you're going to get hurt again and you're going to feel the same thing again from this relationship. Listen, don't let your old relationship become your new relationship. If God bless you with a new relationship, then you need to do what it takes to make that relationship better than the one you had. Ladies, if there's a sign that God is trying to show you, let me tell you this. God can't bless you if you don't let go of something. Sometimes he removes things out of your life because that's what's hindering your life. Sometimes you need to let go and let God. Every time I turn on the news, I just get so upset that another woman's life has been taken behind a domestic violence. That not only the women, but the children also behind domestic violence or divorce or or all those type of things. Well, if I can't have them, can't nobody else have them. If a man tell you that, you better run. Some of y'all say he just talking. You better run, because he ain't just talking. We were watching a movie the other day, and the mother asked the daughter, "Are y'all in love with each other?" And that we are deadly in love. And I said, deadly in love. And when I heard that, I said to myself, my wife said the same thing. She said, you know what? She better watch out, because that means that if you're deadly in love, that means that he's going to do whatever he can to make sure you don't get away from it. Brothers, if the woman don't want you no more, let her go. If you ain't been doing right and you ain't been doing what it takes to keep her happy, you ain't been doing what you're supposed to keep up your end of the bargain with her, let her go. Let her go. You don't have to take her life. That's not going to solve your problem. That's not going to solve your problem at all. Let her go. Maybe that's the time you need to get on, and that's the time you need to get on and learn how to do something by yourself. But you don't get upset and get mad because she don't want you. There's too many other women out here. There's too many other men out here. Men, don't get mad. Ladies, if the man say he don't want to be with you no more, well, guess what? Count your losses. They're not going to outweigh your win. Let him go. Chances are, in the beginning, he never wanted to be with you anyway. He only wanted to be with what you got. He only wanted what you got. He didn't want who you are. And I see a lot of women and a lot of the young girls and everything. He on TikTok, social media, everywhere. I see him, and you're showing your bodies. You're showing too much of your bodies. You're showing too much of your bodies. If you're showing the man what's inside the package, then what is you gonna have to offer him if you marry him? He's already seen everything. That's not how you get a man. That's not how you get a man, because what you're going to end up doing, you're going to get a man that's not going to be in love with you, but he's going to be in lust with you, because he see your body parts. He see what was making him feel good for a moment. That's what he's interested in. That's what he's looking at. And once he get that and he hit that, he going to go it on, and he, just like he saw you, he saw somebody else the next day. Probably on the same thing that you were showing yourself on TikTok, social media, whichever one, IG, whichever one. He probably going, just like he found you on there, he probably in the room or on his job, looking on IG or on TikTok, looking at another woman that's showing her body just like you was. And guess what? He's going to turn around and he's going to try to connect with her too. Y'all better listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not telling you something I just hear. I'm telling you what I experienced. I'm telling you what I've been through myself. I'm telling you what I've done myself. Praise God. God, I made a change in my life, but you need to hear it from somebody who actually done these things. Pay attention. Pay attention. That body you have is beautiful. God gave you that body, but guess what? You don't have to show that man your package. You don't have to show it to him, because if you show him the package before you show him your intelligence, he's only going to want the package. He's not going to understand how intelligent you are. He's not going to understand anything else about you except your body. That's what he's going to understand. And if he connects with you and he began to live with you, or he began to marry you, guess what? That body that he saw, he wake up one morning and that body ain't the same no more. And that makeup ain't on and that hair ain't right, and he see the real you, then he gonna start wanting to look for something else, because he wasn't wanting you. He was just wanting what you showed him. And I'm not. I hope you're not taking any of this wrong, but I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Let me tell you something. I love my wife no matter what. No matter what. My wife is beautiful to me no matter which way. And when you can find a man to sit up and say, well, guess what? My wife is beautiful to me. I don't care if she got on blue jeans and a toe-up shirt. Guess what? You got somebody that's going to stick with you. Don't get up there showing all your body. And I know I got a right to pass up whatever I see on social media. I got a right to scroll right on by it. And I scroll right by it. And sometimes I just shake my head. And my wife got a right to think and feel the way she feels, because she know that men are capable of stopping and looking at a woman's body. But I'm going to tell you something. And I know the women do the same thing. Sometimes when you're scrolling, I know you stop and you look. You take a moment to look before you scroll on. And any man that sit before you and say he don't, he's a liar, because that's what's in him. And there's times when I'm scrolling and I have to think about it, because you know why? I need to not look at this, and I have to scroll on. It's the nature of a man. It's the nature of a woman to look. There's a difference between looking and lusting. Let me say that again. There's a difference between looking and lusting. Lusting is if you contemplate something in your mind after you look. Looking is I see it and go it on, scroll on. And there's all kind of temptations on social media. There's all kind of temptations from young to old. I see women 70 and 80 years old up and doing their thing. Okay, it's social media. That's what you choose to do. That's your thing. But let's be discreet about it. Let's do what's right. They on there lurking. They on there looking. And I know there's a lot of you on there that's single. And I know that you get lonely, and I know that sometimes you want a good relationship. But let me tell you something. You are not going to find a good relationship that's going to be there for love. He's going to be there for lust, because all he saw was what you presented to him on a platter. Look at the men. I bet the men right now, I bet I lost half of the viewers right now, because I'm speaking the truth. But somebody need to do it. Now, you got a right to post whatever you want to. You got a right to do it. If you want to shake your thing, shake your thing. Go it on. It's yours. It's yours. But if you want a good relationship, if you want a real good relationship, take it back old school. Take it back old school. Young girls, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. If you meet a young man and he's willing to see you, he's willing to come take you out, but he's not willing to meet your parents in no shape, form, or fashion, and he being disrespectful to you, and guess what? He disrespectful to your family. He's no good for you. Let it alone. Let it alone. If he can't come and knock on the door, and I'm old school, I'm going to tell you like the old school people say, if he can't pull up and get out of his car, if he's sitting out there blowing a horn waiting for you to come outside, you know what? Take off whatever you put on, Put your old house coat back on and go on back and finish watching TV, because he don't mean you no good. Because he can't get out that car. He can't come up and knock on the door and ask like a gentleman, like a man, and introduce himself. Then he ain't the one for you. He ain't the one for you. He's got something to hide. He don't want to be seen. He wants you to hurry up and come outside so you can hop in the car and go and nobody see you. If he got you keeping secrets from your family, he got you keeping secrets from your mama and your daddy, and he's telling you to tell him, well, you go in one place and he take you somewhere else, stop. Stop. He's keeping secrets. There's some things that he don't want nobody else to know. I don't care how good he look to you, or how fresh he look, or how clean he look, or how nice a car he got and how much money he spent on you. You better watch out. And for those of you who want to run away from home, be careful, because let me tell you something. When you run away from home at an early age, you're going to run into something that you don't want, that you wasn't expecting. Because they out there. They waiting. They waiting for the vulnerable one. They waiting for the one who think that mom and daddy don't love them. They waiting for the one who think that they don't have, that you don't have nobody. They waiting for any chance they can. And all they want to do is use you. And there have been plenty of girls that they went out and found them in the sex trafficking business. And some of them, when they put them off in there and they wouldn't go do what the man tell them to do, they wind up dead somewhere, because they can't let you go. Because if they let you go, then they know that you're going to go back and you're going to tell it. So it's lights out. Leave no witnesses is what they say. So just because things ain't going too good for you at home, or you don't want to follow the rules at home, or your parents are being a little bit strict on you, let me tell you something. Strict ain't never killed nobody. A lot of us people, a lot of us that you see, us older people, we're still living. If it wasn't for our parents being strict on us, parents that we had, where we had to go through things and learn on our own, if it had not been for those things there happening in our life, we wouldn't be here today. See, y'all these days, I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all kids is weak. First thing you want to do is say that I can't live my life, or you trying to live my life, you trying to destroy my life. I want to go out with friends and all that. That's fine, but let me tell you something. You're weak in the mind, because you see what's going on around you, but you have no fear. You want to go out there and you want to test the waters. And let me tell you something. Just because the water look calm don't mean the water ain't dangerous. Let me say it again. Just because the water look calm doesn't mean that the water ain't dangerous. Water is more dangerous than fire. Don't get caught in the water without a life jacket or something that'll keep you afloat, because if not, you'll drown. Let me play this clip for you right quick. And I want you to hear this. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Okay, let's see. See if I can get this clip back. All right. I want you to hear this here clip.
911, where's the gun 6? Your gun still there? The pistol shot still there?
I can't see one.
Someone just got shot right in front of us.
You guys need to come. Like, you guys need to come here now.
In 2020, as COVID-19 spread around the world, a different kind of epidemic is sweeping across America.
Anybody know who did the shooting?
Even as other crimes fell, murders spiked by 30%. It's the biggest jump in modern history.
You had this perfect, horrible storm that resulted in the massive increase in violence around the country.
And it didn't stop there. Homicides kept going up in many areas of America in 2021.
Allergy.
He's not doing great.
We have an ambulance and police over there, okay?
Okay.
I've never seen so many guns in the neighborhood.
And in 2022, there are no signs the national murder rate is significantly falling.
And that was in 2022. He said there's no sign, significant signs of the murder rate dropping. And here we are, 2023. And guess what? It's still climbing.
A person who would do anything.
It's still climbing. And it's still climbing. This is what's going on out there. I'm not trying to put fear in you because we're not supposed to fear anything. You shouldn't have to fear to walk out your house. You shouldn't have to fear to go on your job. You shouldn't have to fear to go to your school. You shouldn't have to fear any of those things. But this is where the devil wants us, in a state of fear. He wants us so deep in a state of fear to where we're losing our minds and we don't understand how to handle things and we don't know what to do. There's always a way out. There's always a way out. If you're going through a domestic abusive relationship, call somebody you know. Don't live in fear. If you feel as though somebody is about to harm you in any kind of way, or that things are not going as they should, call somebody. They have hotlines that you can call. You may not want to talk to them. You may feel as though that they can't help you, but call them anyway. Talk to a friend. You may not, I know that there's some people you say, I wouldn't tell nobody my business. And sometimes you have to tell people your business in order to get help. Get some help. If you're afraid to get away from that, get some help. I'm sure that somebody will be glad to help you get away from something that can potentially be the end of you. Okay? So, let's be safe. Let's be safe. Let's have a awesome week. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for taking the time out to listen. And I hope that something was said that gave you insight in your daily living. Okay, this is Mr. B, and I'm going to be signing off at this time. Do me a favor. If you like this video, hit your like button. If you haven't begun to follow me on TikTok, go ahead and hit the follow button and I'll follow you back. Also, share. Always share with somebody. That way, as the old saying said, each one reach one and teach one. The Bible tells us that the elder women are to teach the younger women. Teach them something that's going to be worth their living. Don't try to run side by side with them. A lot of mothers want to be friends with their daughters. Let me tell you something. It's all right to be your daughter's friend, but you must be the mother first. You have to be the parent first. Fathers, you have to be the father first. Not your son's running buddy. You have to be the father first. Same thing with the mothers. You have to be the mother first, not your daughter's running buddy. And always, always listen to what they have to tell you. Okay? For those of you on YouTube, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified of more video content coming up. And I want to invite you that's over on TikTok to also join me on YouTube under Chilling with Mr. B. You'll find me on YouTube. And I'll be glad to have you over there. When you find me, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll always be notified when I have more content coming. And TikTok, we love you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching our videos. And y'all have a peaceful night.
Yeah, time running. Time to turn around. Get it right. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. Man, I'm tired of running. I've been running way too long. I'm so tired of running. I've been running way too long. Tired of running. I've been running way too long. I've been running from the world so long. Now it's time for me to stop and finally lay my mind on you. Tired of slaying on the block. I've been there for a few moments. Give it up, show me the way. Teach me, Lord, as I go. Hold me tight and don't let go. 'Cause I've been running.